Folks, so I'm sure you all know I recently went on Timcast IRL. I traveled across the country just so I could look Tim straight in the eye and tell him, yes, I am a socialist. What are you going to do about it? He didn't even hit me after I said that. He didn't even hit me. He didn't do anything about it. Well, we talked for 4 hours. I don't want to milk this too much because it makes me kind of look like weird or whatever, but the outcome, like the response, has been so goddamn strange. So I talked about this a little bit before, that there are some people on the right who are really, really mad about Tim having me on. And to an extent, I understand that. So I want to talk a little bit about platforming and my philosophy about platforming, okay? There are a lot of people on the left who think that any time you ever platform any person on the right, it's bad. And those people are stupid, okay? Because platforming is contextual, okay? There are good and bad ways to do it. I platform a lot of really despicable people on my channel, but I do it to debate them. And because I'm confident in my rhetoric and in my knowledge, I usually think I'll come off looking better than them, which serves my interest, you know? What would irresponsible platforming would be like if I was like super meek and like they just came on, they just went off their talking points and like I just sort of listened and nodded and that sort of thing, you know? Sometimes people on the right will do this to other right-leaning people as a form of controlled opposition. This is very common. Dave Rubin was really, really good at this. You have people come on like Dave Rubin's show, for example, and these people can be very far right. These people can have despicable ideas. And Dave Rubin will say like, well, I disagree with some of your ideas, but you know, the ideas you're putting out here are just, wow, man, I can barely even handle them. My brain is just, my onions are just being sliced right now by how amazing your ideas are. Like that sort of thing, you know? And it's this sort of performative denunciation, but in reality, the ideas are being sort of broadcasted and propagated. Joe Rogan does this sometimes as well. Joe Rogan does this to pretty much every guest he is on. Like, Joe Rogan doesn't challenge super directly the people who he's talking to. Sometimes that's great. There have been good guests on the Joe Rogan show. Sometimes it's not great. Whatever the case may be, platforming is like really complicated. So with Tim Pool, right? Tim Pool had me on. And a lot of right-leaning people are upset because they're now using my logic. They are now saying, well, you had him on, but you didn't challenge his ideas enough. So actually, it was irresponsible for you to have him on, which is hysterical because they would never, ever, ever say that, ever, about any other person who comes on Tim's or any other show. They would never say that about another person like that. I have never seen a far right person or even a regular conservative say that about like Nazis who go on, you know, like white nationalists, you know? Like Taylor or Stefan Molyneux, who's that crazy guy who used to sub in, who hosted for Steven Crowder a couple of times? The guy who said that Hitler was just trying to clean Germany of the filth. Owen Benjamin. Yeah. Thank you. They never do that with these people. They do it with me because, and I want to be perfectly clear here, when I went on Tim's show, I talked about simple ideas that I think are convincing to a large audience because those are the things that I care about, you know? Leftism isn't about highly esoteric academic definitions and exclusionary social spaces. It's not, okay? Leftism is about very basic ideas, very simple realizations that you should be able to deliver to anybody. There is not functional democracy in this country. We need more democracy. We need better democracy in our elected governance, and we need better democracy within our workplaces. We need people to be provided better accommodations. Our government is inefficient and it's corrupt, and there are things we can do about this. We can fix this, but we need to reassess how we look at our country. We need to reassess how we look at industry. We need to reassess how we look at the relationship between workers and the industries they work for. And I talked about this, and I'm happy that I did. And I'm proud, frankly, to have had the opportunity to share those ideas with a large audience. And I thanked Tim for having given me that opportunity. And to Tim's credit, and I said this before, Tim has been on Twitter defending his right to have me on and my right to go on. And I respect the hell out of that. I genuinely do. I have been, over the past 2 years of me doing this, or 2-ish years, a little less than 2 years, I've seen a lot of bad faith treatment from people on the right, which is to be expected, I suppose, given what I do. So it is genuinely heartening to me that Tim Pool would sort of broadly defend, you know, in a genuinely neutral manner, my right to go on. I appreciate that. But the response has been so weird from the broader right, like really, really strange. I talked a little bit about Carolyn Borisenko, who, I shit you not, this is real, who fought with Tim on Twitter and then made a video about how she's over Tim and then put it behind a paywall. Like, you know? Like, she put it up and it's behind a paywall. Like, you want to see why I'm done with Twitter? Like, here you go. She blocked me on Twitter too, but frankly, I'm surprised she hadn't done that earlier. Just yesterday, she... Okay, listen. Normally, I wouldn't do this because I don't like milking drama from people who I think aren't all there. And I do genuinely wonder about Carolyn sometimes, but this is just too much. Here's a tweet from Shu. Absolutely losing my fucking mind as Carolyn Borisenko bringing on a whole-ass psychic to read Tim Pool and Vosh's energy.
Watching us?
Yeah, definitely. Energy-wise, I do think.
From a picture.
Well, Tim's energy is lighter. It feels to me, and I do think that like Tim is connected to like some higher source. You know, regardless of how it's filtered through his personality. I mean, it's still his personality, but like the energy around Tim is coming from over here.
It's coming from,
which says to me that it's coming from like, I don't know, it's either the back of his brain or it's a matter of there being something from
the back of the brain.
You know, from some higher place. Again, it's all filtered through our personality. I mean, you could have, you know, you could filter being an asshole. You're going to totally have to edit this. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Being a real jerk, and you can, you know, but he's still getting energy from, I feel, more like source. And it feels to me as if, what's the other guy's name?
Vosh.
Vosh feels.
By the way, where are we at right now where Carolyn Borisenko is one of the few people who pronounces my name correctly?
Feels to me as if the energy is very much on the lower chakras. Like a lot of what happens from him is that he's pulling it from his solar plexus.
The dick chakra.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, lower energy. So like I feel that
the poo chakra.
Yeah, Vosh is very much like I think his mind is like, okay, well I have to do this in order for things to work, whereas Tim is sort of, I think, for lack of a better word, like divinely inspired in the sense that...
There we go. Divinely inspired. I'm not, Tim, I'm not shit-talking you. Congratulations on your... Oh, sorry, I don't have chat up. My bad. I turned it off earlier for a off-stream recording. Yeah, so divinely inspired, you know, will of God, all that business. Just fantastic stuff, people. Absolutely fantastic. Now, this is obviously very, very funny. But what I'm mostly interested in talking about isn't the sort of like wacky psychic reading. What I really want to talk about is is just the general response that I've seen from the broader conservative community. Now, who here has seen conservatives online call me like a pedophile or whatever? I imagine that's a pretty common one, right? You see that one getting dished out a lot, you know. That's a thrown around underhand, you know. This is a really, really, really common tactic, and this isn't just from the right, by the way. This is from everybody. Everybody does this. Maybe the right does it more. If you don't have good responses to people's ideas, you defer to responses that are thought-terminating cliches. A thought-terminating cliche is an argument or a sentence or a word even that is meant to shut down discourse. Everything can serve as one, you know? Everything is capable of serving as one. Like, for example, the term fascist can operate as a thought-terminating cliche, because once you say it, there's a lot of negative association with the term fascist. Communist, exactly the same way. Look at how the right uses the term socialist in, like, public discourse, you know? Oh, Biden's a socialist, he's a Marxist, and Kamala Harris is a Marxist, and Bernie Sanders is a Marxist. Like, they throw these terms around. And do they know what Marxism is? Like, could they explain dialectic materialism to me? Could they explain historical materialism to me? Could they explain the concept of alienation to me? No, of course they couldn't. They have no idea what any of these things mean. But they use the term because it evokes fear, and scared people don't question what they've just been told. Yeah, Marxism is when you put black people in video games, exactly. So people like using thought-terminating cliches, and the term, like, calling a person a pedo is pretty much like the highest level of like irrational denunciation, you know? Like, if you, like, that's the highest, like, worst thing you can call a person, which is the reason why QAnon is obsessed with the idea that that, like, the left in our country and in the world is being run by a cabal of globalist pedophiles. And it's the same reason why the anti-trans lobby associates trans ideology with pedophilia. And the same reason why they associate homosexuality with pedophilia. And the same way that they associated miscegenation with pedophilia. Oh, wait, hold on a second. They call everyone pedophiles, don't they? Like, everyone they don't like. That's like step one, isn't it? Like, anytime they don't have a response to an idea that they don't want to, like, actually address in the context of a decent argument, they go to that, don't they? Every time I have, like, a big discussion, or, like, there's an argument, or a conflict, or drama, or anything like that, there's always the possibility that I fucked up. I'm not perfect. And even in my debates, and I think I'm a decent debater, there are times when I do poorly. And whenever I feel like there's, like, a mixed performance, I go online and I see, what are people saying about me, you know? How did I fuck up? And here's the thing. Do you guys remember the Thomas Sowell video that I did just a little while ago? Not all of you saw it, whatever. But in it, I basically called Thomas Sowell absolute hack and stupid and dumb and a babyface. Oh, he's actually quite handsome back in the day. But somebody typed out, I swear to God, like a fucking Odyssey, like an Odysseal epic from 4chan, refuting me. And I actually, God help me, I didn't want to do it, but somebody formatted the fucking thing for me, so I had to read it. And I disagree with the essay, of course. I think that it was a lot of words boiling down to say essentially nothing. I don't think that the length of an essay... It's funny because that essay from 4chan got over 1,000 upvotes in the Jordan Peterson subreddit, and I knew that none of them had actually read it because I read it, and I could tell from the responses none of them had read it, and they just assumed that it was a good debunk because it was long, which really kind of really sort of highlights the aesthetic of intellectuality these people like to engage in, like more words equals more gooder, you know? Not that I haven't seen that same rhetorical tactic used by tankies, but whatever. The point is, though, when they disagreed with me on the Sowell thing, that's what they deferred to, this big, lengthy counter-argument that, again, I read through, I didn't find very convincing, but at least that's something. I mean, that is something, right? Like, if somebody disagrees with me enough to type up a fucking book on how I'm wrong, like, I do respect that. Somebody took time. They put thought into that, and I appreciate that. And when I see stuff like that, it makes me curious. Was I wrong? Did I mess up? Can I learn from this? That's what I look for when I feel like I might have messed up. That's the response that I want. I want to see responses which indicate that I may have, like, fucked up, and I can learn from that so I don't do it again. So how do you think I feel when the only criticism I see is calling me, like, a pedophile, or, like, fat, or man bun, or soy boy, or whatever? What reaction do you think that elicits in me? Like, if you had to take a guess. They have nothing on me. They have nothing on me. That's what it makes me think. Because if I was actually wrong, they would be focusing on that. They've got nothing on me. And that's, I mean, it gets boring after a while, but that's been the response that I've seen to the Tim Pool thing, like, nonstop, you know? All the conservatives, Ian Miles Chong, Adam Krigler, who used to work with Tim Pool, Carolyn Borisenko, who said that you guys, my fans, like, harassed her nonstop or something just by going on the podcast or something to that effect. And the Quartering, who donated messages, who donated to the live stream, like, why do you have a tiny dick, Vosh? I can tell from these people that they're just mad at me going on. But I invite them. I'm genuinely curious, you know, I invite them. If you're so upset, he's spaghetti, you can come on my show and you can tell me that I'm dumb to my face. You can do that. I won't stop you. Because I responsibly platform people. And I generally have conservatives on when I'm relatively confident that if they came on, they would end up looking foolish. And there's nothing on earth I'm more confident about than the idea that you guys look foolish making these accusations to me. The Quartering made a video. Tim Pool blasted for hosting far-left socialist Vosh. And the comment section is just delightful. I want to look over it with you. I don't know if this is interesting to you, but this is interesting to me from like almost an anthropological perspective. Here we go. Here's Aiden Paladin. I think Aiden Paladin's alt-right, right? Is Aiden Paladin just like a conservative type, or is Aiden Paladin like full-on signaling JQ white nationalism? I forget. I don't think people are mad about Tim giving Vosh a platform. I think they're mad that Tim basically let Vosh lie both about Tim to his face and every topic under the sun, that Tim didn't bring up any of his controversies, and that his fans were doxing people in the chat. I keep seeing this, by the way, that you guys were doxing people in Tim's live stream. Who the fuck were you doing that to? Because, like, again, like, it's always possible that you guys do that stuff, but, like, one of the first responses was, like, or was it from this or another comment chain? Somebody asked, like, who was being doxed, and they were like, ask Carolyn Borisenko, you know? What's funny is because they were trying to dox me, there were people who literally donated with an address they thought was mine in the chat right there. So they were actually, like, the projection here is insane. Like, they're constantly trying to dox me in the chat. They super chatted it, so it got shown up on the on the fucking banner above the chat, you know? But now they're like, my community was doxing. Who are we doxing? Anyway, and I don't think anyone would be surprised if Tim's address gets mysteriously leaked soon. They keep the projection is like insane, dude. They're actually said like I would go to meet Tim in person and then I would like leak the address or something. But like the fear mongering is fucking crazy, dude. Oh, here we go. I was getting fucked up DMs all day just for pointing out something he lied about in the podcast, calling the source of the Smithsonian whiteness infographic something made by a dumb intern when it's from the work of an award-winning PhD diversity scholar with 40 years in the field. I saw this criticism, by the way. It's really funny how dumb it is. Do you guys remember that one Smithsonian pamphlet, which was like, whiteness is hard work, that sort of thing? They said, my claim was that pamphlet was probably made by some like young student in their 20s or whatever, and then it immediately got taken down. And they were like, no, actually, the information on that pamphlet was taken from an article written in the 1990s. That doesn't mean that they made the pamphlet. That means that that pamphlet was derived from information that came from the 1990s. There's a big difference, a very big difference, between an academic paper, which makes assertions like whiteness has roots in like the Protestant work ethic, which I can defend easily, and like making a publicly accessible pamphlet that just delivers this complex academic information in a blurb that makes it seem really fucking weird and racist. You know? Really, 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 really weird. Yeah, the pamphlet's eternal. They actually unearthed the pamphlet from one of the fucking Egyptian tombs, you know? It was actually there before the fucking dawn of the Roman Empire, okay? That shit goes way back. Anyway, just like, I don't know. When I look through the comments underneath like the conservative shit, it genuinely makes me wonder how like worthwhile it is to even try to appeal to these types of audiences. I know that if you're typing a YouTube comment, you're already like 1/10 of the community that you're looking at. You know, it's like the rule of content creation. Only 10% of an audience actually posts, and only like 10% of that 10% posts frequently. That sort of thing. Anyway, yeah, they always talk about how my fans harass people in their DMs. I never see any evidence of it. The problem is that regardless of Vosh's politics, he was easily the lowest quality guest that Tim has had in a long line of quality, well-spoken guests. Plus, he's the only guest so far that would straight up dox Tim's HQ. How do these people call other people snowflakes when they're getting mad over a thing that hasn't happened? You know? It's insane to me. Like, these people are actually, like, offended. You know what I mean? Man, whatever. Dude, look at this. What the fuck? A big reason why people are roasting Tim Pool over that is because Vosh's cronies doxed around 30 people. 30 people? What are you guys doing while I'm not looking at you? What? What are you people doing while I'm away? I leave chat for 4 hours to do a podcast, and you people dox the entire Republican voter registry? How did you do that? Do you have a reference for him requesting a dox? Ask Carolyn Borisenko. She's a valuable source on matters of Vosh's behavior. He also calls women he doesn't agree with the C word. What? We're on the Quarterings channel, dude. What? Anyone visiting me at home will get a severe case of lead poisoning. Can't wait. I can't stress this enough. There are genuinely people who are like frothing at the mouth at the idea that one of you guys, a fan of mine, is going to dox them and then show up at their house to attack them. It really does underline how fear-prone these people are, which is just insane to me. So I want to finish up with like an address, okay? If I may, to these people, if that's okay. Is that okay? Holy fuck. Calm down, okay? Do you need like medication or something? I need you guys to understand, okay? Listen, I love doing what I do. I like making you guys angry online, but that's it. I make you angry because I do it in the hopes that some of you who are angry will reflect on your perspectives on life, okay? I'm not some fucking sinister mastermind, dude. Jesus. Yeah, stop. Get some help, okay? All right? Please. Yeah, you guys need to chill, okay? It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, all right? We're gonna make it through this together. All right. Jesus. Yeah, I really do think it's like a needs medication kind of thing. I don't say that lightly because I understand, as somebody who takes lithium for bipolar disorder, I don't say that lightly. But I think it is important because, like, man, if your concern about an online content creator is that you're actually afraid that they're going to send their fucking goon squad to your house, I feel like your ability to rationally reflect on the threats to your person have been, like, deeply corrupted, you know? It's like people who legitimately think that, like, Antifa or cancel culture is going to fucking kill them, you know? Which is just crazy to me. Just crazy to me. Anyway, whatever the case may be, chill out. It's all going to be okay. I had a great time talking to Tim, and I'd like to talk with Tim in the future, by the way. I would like to talk with Tim in the future. That would be very, very nice. I would hope so. Because I had a good time, but I got to take a bit of a break because flying terrifies me. Flying is very spooky. And also COVID season. We hit record number of COVID cases, new COVID cases just yesterday, which is fun, you know. So anyway, just chill out, guys. It's okay. All right?